The Store Credit of the Damned, How False Forgiveness Keeps the Market Open. Part 9 of 10. False forgiveness is the ego's velvet-gloved con. It shakes your hand, smiles in your face, and quietly slips your change back into its own register. It doesn't end the account, it rebrands it. Picture a dusty old general store in the middle of a ghost town. The sign above the door says Forgiveness and Sons, but the windows are covered in ledgers, IOUs, and faded receipts. Every time you forgive in the ego's way, you step inside and hand over the debt, only for the clerk to give you store credit and a friendly wink. You forgive, but keep the memory filed under evidence. You say, "We're good," but the ledger is still tucked in your mental filing cabinet, ready for the next trial where you get to play judge and jury again. Sometimes you even call this boundaries or wisdom to make it sound noble. But let's be real, it's debt collection in a choir robe. Real forgiveness is an arsonist. It burns the ledger, the pen, the ink, and the very belief that a debt ever existed. It doesn't keep the store open. It demolishes the building and plants a garden where the foundation once stood. No contracts, no coupons, no IOUs, or you owe me's. False forgiveness, though, it's retail religion. You don't get peace, you get store credit. A plastic smile and a comeback soon stamped on your receipt. The ego wants you to believe you've been liberated, but really it just gave you a coupon for 10% off your next grievance. Vignette 1. The elevator. You're in a slow-moving elevator with a single other passenger. They apologize for something they did years ago, and you nod, smiling warmly. But you keep your finger hovering over the door close button when they step out, shutting them out faster than necessary. In your pocket, you clutch a small, folded slip of paper. Their offense, written in your handwriting, edges worn from handling. You told them it was forgiven, but you never threw it away. And here's the funny thing, it's all in your mind. You can't see into mine, and I can't see into yours. So whose forgiveness matters? The one in your mind, because that's the only place the so-called crime ever existed. When you withhold real forgiveness, you lock yourself up. You're not holding me hostage, you're keeping yourself in the cell, polishing the key, and wondering why the door won't open. Vignette 2. The Turnstile. A carnival barker waves you forward, grinning under a faded top hat. You drop your token in the slot, push through the turnstile, and find yourself right back where you started. The ticket in your hand says admitted forgiveness, but the fine print underneath reads, store credit only, no refunds. The music plays, the lights spin, but there's no exit. Jesus meets the mind where it thinks it is, where it believes in wrongs and victims and crimes, because that's the only place the healing can happen. But he's clear. God doesn't forgive because God's never condemned. True forgiveness is the recognition that there's nothing to forgive. No harm, no foul, no separate self to be injured in the first place. False forgiveness runs on the belief that something did happen, and that your holiness now requires you to let it go. But you can't let go of what you still think is real. You just shift it to the discount rack in the back of the store and hope nobody notices you never returned it. That's why it's a turnstile. You keep moving, but you never leave the carnival. You wonder why you're dizzy, but it's because you're on the same ride you've always been on. You keep thinking that one more lap will get you out, but there's no out in false forgiveness. Just another ticket to spin around again. And all the while, the ego's in the ticket booth, smiling, stamping your hand. Bless you, child. See you next time. Vignette 3. The Ledger Room. You're in a candle-lit back room lined with towering shelves. Every shelf is stacked with leather-bound ledgers, each with a name stamped on the spine. You find the one with their name, run your finger down the columns and close it gently. You tell yourself you've forgiven them. Then you slide the ledger back into place instead of tossing it into the fire. The dust in the room is so thick it tastes bitter in your mouth. And somewhere behind you, a door marked "Exit" swings open to clean air, but you never turn around. Now here's where the Course in Miracles cuts right through the con. It says you don't have to believe these ideas. You don't have to welcome them. You might actively resist them. None of that will matter, and none of that will decrease their efficacy. Efficacy means the power to produce an effect, regardless of how you feel about it. It works because it's true, not because you approve of it. But here's the condition: do not make exceptions. Apply the ideas without picking and choosing. Because if you only forgive the people and events you think deserve it, you've turned forgiveness into store credit all over again. The Course calls for simple application, not intellectual assent, not emotional fireworks, just practice. And here's the metaphysical bombshell. When you practice real forgiveness, you're not letting anyone off the hook. They were never on one. The hook itself was a mirage. The ledger was imaginary. The store was never real. That's why the practice is everything. It trains the mind to see that there's no merchandise to sell, no customers to serve, no transactions to track. The marketplace collapses because it was only ever an idea in your own mind. And when that happens, you walk out into the sunlight with empty hands and a light heart, because there's nothing left to carry. No store credit, no debt, no prison, just the clean, wide space of a mind that knows it never owed a thing.